And Star Wars, everybody, has a big announcement. We're getting 3 more movies. We're getting episodes 10, 11, and 12. Can we talk about that in our featured story of the night? So there's been this whole thing about Rey, the Daisy Ridley's Rey movie coming forward. We talked about it, I think, on Wednesday or Monday about how they lost the writer of that second writer. Now we're getting our third writer, and now we found somebody, but they're not actually saying it's the Rey movie. What they're saying now, it's a new trilogy, which they said they weren't going to do anymore. No more trilogies. We're not going to do that. We're done. But now they've announced episodes 10, 11, and 12. And Rey is the new Obi-Wan Kenobi. She's the new person leading the way for all this franchise. We're not saying about the Skywalkers, hey, good to see you. We're not saying about Skywalkers. We're saying that it's going to be about Rey. And Simon Kinberg has signed on to write the whole trilogy, which I would say this, round of applause for Disney figuring this out. Have someone write all 3 and keep the narrative moving forward so it all connects. Because when they did it before the last time, it didn't work. It was all over the place, all over. And then so at that point, people are confused. You're changing the narrative. You're scrapping by whatever each director wants to do. And then all of a sudden it's convoluted and it doesn't work. This is smart. This is smart. And Kinberg's done a lot of stuff before. He's worked, again, with Kathleen Kennedy, and he's worked with her on other projects. How about, what was the first one? Over animated series Rebels. He did Rebels with her. He also was a consultant on episode 7, The Force Awakens. He did the X-Men movies. He did that Logan movie. He worked on Deadpool, Wolverine. He worked on Ridley Scott's The Martian. He worked on that. He worked on Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and he also works on now the new Star Trek movie moving forward. So he's working on Star Trek and Star Wars. But is this the Rey movie we were expecting, or is this something different? And I think what's actually going to happen, everybody, is they're going to cancel that Rey movie because they've lost 2 writers, and they're like, let's just go for a trilogy and make it happen. Disney's been all back and forth with the Star Wars message, though, GR, and I see you're excited about this. What do you think? Is this going to make sense and make the fans happy to get 3 more Star Wars movies?
I don't think the number of movies is a question. I mean, there's 2 things that have to happen. A, you have to have the same writer for all 3.
Which he's doing it.
And more importantly, the same director in all 3.
Yeah, we don't have that yet.
Because what's happened in the last few movies is they've had a different director on each one, each telling their own storyline, and then storylines don't mesh. Look at the first 6 movies. They had the same director in all 3 movies of each segment, and they were successful. The last 3 sucked because you had, here's storyline A, here's storyline B, oh, and here's storyline C. And they never correlated.
Yeah,
that happened. Pure garbage. And that's what I said. They've got the starlet, or star, however you want to put it. They've got a writer who's going to do all 3.
Done a lot of stuff.
I think the most important part is the director.
I agree with you.
I'm sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
No. Keep going, GR. I agree with you, though.
I was just saying he is the one, or she, is the person that ties it all together. And if that storyline is not, that arc, if you will, is not consistent, you end up with garbage.
And I think they should be tied in, the director, right now. They should actually figure out a director before they move too far forward, so that narrative keeps moving forward and they're on the same creative page, because that goes a long way. And I think what you're saying is 100% true. What happened with the original ones, with 7, 8, and 9, with the whole Rey franchise, was you had J.J. Abrams. He came in and he had an idea of it. And then Rian Johnson came in and they let Rian Johnson just do whatever the hell he wanted. So he shit all over everything that J.J. Abrams did. And then at that point, now your whole narrative's messed up. And then you're bringing J.J. back when you're supposed to have, again, you're supposed to Trevorrow, what's his name? Colin Trevorrow coming in. He was supposed to do it there when they were like, well, we can't do this now because we screwed up colossally with the second one. And so we're going back to J.J. But then now narrative's all messed up. It's kind of and people are upset. If you're going to do 3 movies, have a plan, Ron, right? Have a plan. Absolutely. Do you think this is their first time that Disney actually will have a plan now that they have a writer for all 3 movies? Is this something you actually want to see?
Star Wars.
I know, right? I know. You're not about it. Come on, Ron. Can that help you?
I think You need to have the consistency of the same writers. Absolutely. I will disagree about the director though, because if you're directing the written word with your own spin, it could be interesting. But
Good point, Ron.
you have to be directing the written word. You can't be veering off through your own ego.
Which does happen sometimes, it does happen where they try to like manipulate it. But the problem I think with the original ones is they were hiring director writers. And so they're letting them just kind of go off and do whatever they wanted for that. And I think that's where we lost it, right?
I think so too. Absolutely. I think so too. You have to have a director that respects the written word to do it, but direct it with his spin would be fine. I think that could be interesting.
But the bigger question, Ron, for you too, is like, are people just done with Star Wars?
I'm done with Star Wars. Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's been failing. It's been failing constantly. Even the Skeleton Crew show coming out looks good, but I'm like, I know the fan base is pissed. I know the new audience isn't working, and they keep trying.
Torbett has zero interest. He doesn't even talk about Star Wars. None of the kids in his school talk about Star Wars. They're not. So who is the audience? 50 and 60-year-olds?
I guess. Can you see any world where this actually, like, people be like, yeah, I want this now?
No, I don't. I just don't, and it just keeps popping up.
Can they fix it though? They're trying. They say, can they fix it, Ron?
I mean, I guess you can fix anything. Is it going to be any good though? No, you can't fix this. It's just let it go.
You can fix anything, Ron, except this shit. It's unfixable.
This shit's done.
Anything, but not this.
It's a good point. I mean, I think that again, if you're going to try to do something else, I feel like bringing in the original cast from the last three doesn't help, Ron. I think at that point, people are already mad about the fan base is what upset what you did. They said they never do another trilogy again, and then they announced a trilogy.
Yeah. It's just not. It's no. Nope.
It seems like business is not going to go well for them.
I don't think it is.
I want to be optimistic about it. I do. And the first when I heard it, I didn't really realize the ramifications of it because we've been hearing about this like, oh, we're going to do one more movie with Daisy Ridley because she's great from those movies. So we're going to have her run this new Jedi temple. It's going to be fantastic. We get new Jedi and move forward and have a whole new thing. Now it's like, oh, we're going to do some more of the same now instead. Yeah. I'll give one of these. But I did hear some news that George Lucas might get involved with this.
Okay, that gets a bit more interesting.
And it might put a spin on it.
Interesting, yes.
Or is it too far gone, Mike? Is it too far gone? Or is the Force still with this franchise?
He usually makes it work when he gets involved, though. It's kind of a problem,
right? You're right. You're totally right. Oh, those prequels are loved now, though, Mike. They were really shit on for a long time, and now they're loved by a new generation. Which again,
what's the third sequel movie called? It's called Jedi.
The Last Jedi,
and the Skywalkers are coming around.
The Last Skywalker. It was the Last Skywalker. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually like that one. Like, I understand that, like, kind of everybody feels like it was a massive fuck you to the audience. I get that. But I had a fun time because it just seemed like it brought all the story elements back to basics. It was all like straight up Joseph Campbell. Hey, let's get to the next story point. Oh, what's this? There's something that we need to find. Let's go find that. That's kind of helpful.
MacGuffin. There's always MacGuffin, right?
It's just MacGuffin. Like if you're just doing a stupid space story, like I personally did not expect more than stupid space story for the 9th iteration of this damn space story. So I felt good.
Spaceballs, not Star Wars.
Yeah, I still felt good. I still felt good though, even though they were trying to do the serious thing. GR.
It's funny, Mike. The chat is kind of in line with this, though. It sounds like the chat wants to see more, and that's in there. Is a built-in audience. There's a built-in audience, Mike, that will still watch everything and give it the time of day. I think even what happened with the Acolyte, people tried it and then they were pissed off and they stopped.
So
I think people will watch.
This is going to be a show.
Featured three movies.
3 movies.
Yep, it'll be episode 10, episode 11, and episode 12. Continue off of The Last Skywalker.
So the whole idea of like the Skywalker saga is bullshit then. Like, We're just gonna keep doing this, like, because they kind of pitched that as like a beginning and an end. But if we keep going in here, then that's not really.
And they're not saying this is about the Skywalkers, but it is continuation of the George Lucas timeline, you know? So it will fit right into that. I wish there was a name. They have the Kelvin timeline for Star Trek. What we have, the Lucas line, you know? This is the Lucas line. Lucas Lemon. Luco Lemon. I don't know. I'm going to try to make a play off that shit.
So presumably we're not going to get any more Emperor bullshit. The Palpatine bullshit is done, right? Like, so now that's the problem that I have, Brian, is that I don't trust that they're saying like, oh, it's a new storyline. They might just keep reaching back into that same
something dark side.
something complete.
I agree with Angel. Mike too. I like the last one. I thought it was good. The Skywalker one. I thought it was fun, even though people shit on it. I'm like, it's a fun adventure movie. You're gonna go try to find this device that's gonna save things. That's like Indiana Jones did all the time. Find the MacGuffin, you know. The second one I was mad because it pissed over the first one, and the first one I thought was a reboot of the original one. So I'm like, what are we doing here? You know, and that's where fans get mad. But like a business standpoint, they can't stop. They spent so much money and they made so much money off this. Ron, whenever is a company that makes so much money ever stop doing it? Like you spent this much money, you've invested this money. When do they ever just give up on it? It doesn't happen, right?
They don't. That does not happen. No, it's very true. Not.
Do you think that Kathleen Kennedy expects this to eventually become like this massive success again?
I mean, I would hope she's smarter than that. I don't see anything being massive out of this, but
they're going to become a religion, Ron. Though is the thing. Like, that's what they're aiming for.
Then probably on their way. Yes.
That's awesome. But quote that on Cruise Control. That happened.
Star Wars.
we'll see. Yeah. It's going to happen.
It's true.
Our Father is Vader from now on. Our Father who art is Vader. Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Somebody did make a comment that they said Star Wars movies always make money. And they do. But is it a quality it's I don't know.
But Ron,
are the people there for it?
A viewer that said he agreed with Torbett.
What's that?
There was also a viewer that said he agreed with Torbett.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, that's the question. Younger generation. Is it there for the younger generation? Like Ron was saying, is it only there for the nostalgia bait? You know, the people from the
money
80s.
is for the younger generation. I mean, if you're going to do merch and stuff, that's a younger generation. That's not a 55-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
I think it comes down to if they put out a good product. I mean, a good one, like they did with the original. You can draw people into the theaters, and then it'll be a hit with whatever generation.
You're right, GR.
But it's got to be a quality product.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Not a piece of shit like we've seen in the last three.
It's got to be fresh too. It's got to be different. And I think what it comes down to is like, you got to hit something. You got to hit something great. And this guy they've been having that's working on the script right now has worked on the Rebels stuff did really well. That's like, Ron, it was like they had an animated series for like 4 or 5 seasons. I don't know if Jordan's here could tell us, but there's an animated series that took place between the first franchise and the second franchise. Okay. And like people loved it. People went crazy about it. Like, it was like all this crazy stuff happening. So that guy...
You're talking about Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, but also Rebels, which was in there too.
Right.
And it was Filoni, and then this guy worked on it. And so, like, they're saying that he has some ideas that are going to be like something that's going to carry through 3 movies. And they weren't going to do 3 movies. So, to me, they're working on this Rey movie for a long time, like a couple years now, and they've scrapped it two times. And then after that, they're like, well, let's go back to a trilogy. So there must be something here. There's got to be something here that's an idea that spans 3 movies that has to be freaking monumental and has to be all those something that sells. If you ask me, if you publicly come out there and say we're not doing 3 again, and then you try to do 1, and then you like all of a sudden do 3, there's got to be something, because that's a big blowback to a company, isn't it? Like, Mike, it's a big blow. If you do it and it bombs, isn't that a big blowback?
I don't know, man. I think I see what you're saying though, like that they want it to be a big situation, and they're projecting for that to happen. Like, even if the press has been sketchy in the past, you want to project confidence in what the endeavors of your company are going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. I like how Ron's like trapped in his couch right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. When did has your head always been that small, Ron?
He's like merged in with the couch.
I think Ron's ready for bed.
He's almost on the couch.
We all get small right before we go to bed.
Yeah, that's
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be something here. It's very early on. They're not saying that Ray movie's done. They're not saying this is merged together into one conglomerate, freaking massive franchise. But that's what it seems like to me. And I think it's only a matter of time you announce that you're saying Daisy Ridley's here. Why would it not be the whole thing? So what will happen? Episodes 10, 11, 12. Hopefully it's something better, new and different and exciting. That's what I say. So Disney, please, you spent bunch of money, millions and millions of dollars on this. Please give us some fucking greatness.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Cause the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Cause I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.